This is Dottie's Pond, a really old and unspoken urban legend in my hometown. Legend has it that almost 100 years ago, a little girl named Dottie, almost 12 years old, murdered her parents and hung them in that barn over there. She walked this trail up to the pond to reflect and think about what she had done. It was said that she was sitting right there in that spot when a giant hand came out of the lake, grabbed her, and pulled her in. Locals say that she purposely drowned herself because she couldn't deal with the guilt of killing her parents. So when authorities went to go look for her body in the lake, they found nothing. Here's a closer look of the barn. Should I continue doing more urban legends in my hometown? Because there's a lot. Let me know. Going through urban legends of every state, part 1, Arizona. The biggest and most popular urban legend in Arizona would have to be skinwalkers. They're this shape-shifting, half-human, mutilated creature. I don't want to post any photos that would be too scary, so that's why we're dealing with this one, because I don't want this video to get taken down. This urban legend is so ingrained into Arizona culture that when a woman was murdered in Flagstaff, that the accused killer's defense in court was that it was a skinwalker that did it. Like in a legal court system, that was his defense. There's even a skinwalker ranch here. Supposedly, that's where they like to roam most. Now, this comes from Navajo culture. Skinwalkers are really just witch doctors who have become evil, basically going against all the Navajos' traditional values. A lot of the time they're found on like the side of the road, like walking, crawling, limping around. They mainly roam on older Indian reservations. Literally the first week of moving to Arizona, I saw one and I swear to God, it was like limping and eating a dead cow on the side of the road. This one, I believe it. Comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state. New York. And like, I'm really scared to talk about this one. This is about the Montauk Project. Now, this was a series of alleged government experiments in the early 80s in Montauk, Long Island, where there was psychological warfare, experimenting on children, opening portals to other dimensions and other government-funded creepiness, and also the main inspiration for Stranger Things. So if you've seen that show, you already know. And in the later 90s, Peter B. Nicholas helped write a book about it, where he talked about his repressed memories from his days working there. The book talked about time warps to Mars and psychic child spies. US government, please don't come after me. Y'all got a lot on your plate already. So please follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state. Chicago. I meant Illinois, I know, don't come at me. Back in 1930, while having a night on the town, a young girl named Mary got into an argument with her boyfriend. She was so mad after the argument that she just stormed off, and as she was walking away, she was unfortunately hit by a car near Resurrection Cemetery. Now that is 100% true, but now she supposedly haunts the streets near Resurrection Cemetery trying to find the driver who hit her. Supposedly when you drive by Resurrection Cemetery late at night, you'll see a young girl in a white gown with blonde hair, specifically along Archer Avenue hoping to pick up a ride. However, once she's in your car, if you choose to let her in, she'll disappear without a trace, which has made a lot of taxi drivers very confused. As always, don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Also, I do have a YouTube channel if you'd like to check that out. That'll be in the bio, or you can just search Mason Scythe on YouTube. Urban legends from every state. Georgia. The curse of Lake Lanier. This massive man-made lake is just north of Atlanta and has an unnerving reputation. There's been lots of tragic and mysterious deaths and a lot of boating accidents, even unexplained homicides to this day. A construction crew found the skeleton of a woman who disappeared in 1958. She was still trapped in her car at the bottom of the lake for over 30 years. And there's been many reportings of people seeing her ghost still walking across the waters. There's even been multiple reportings of a giant catfish that lives at the bottom of this lake, big enough to eat a human, a dog, pretty much anything. Now, this is also a huge party lake in Georgia. Some people just think, oh, bodies of water and alcohol just like leads to death, which is very true. Others think that there's some more sinister spirit roaming around there, purposely targeting these partygoers. What do you guys think? Have you been here before? Do you sense anything weird? Let me know, and also follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state. Washington. The 13 Steps to Hell. This takes place at the Maltby Cemetery, which is also known to have satanic rituals. Fun. It's also home to a subterranean tomb to a really, really rich family that used to be able to be accessed by the 13 steps to go down into it. And apparently if you walk down those stairs, it's rumored that you'll have this weird vision or mindset or whatever you want to call it, where you will have a sneak peek or glimpse into hell itself. Now, this is the supposed grave of where it once was. And the only reason why they don't really know is because it's been bulldozed and covered in concrete so many times. Also, this cemetery dates back to 1901. However, if you do feel brave enough to go and trespass on this cemetery, you'll see a lot more than just the police coming after you for trespassing. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. And feel free to check out my YouTube channel or my Instagram in the bio. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state. Tennessee. And y'all better learn a lesson from this one. In Jamestown, Tennessee, stands an abandoned school called Pine Haven Elementary. In the early 1900s, a young boy was just getting ready in the bathroom before class started. And that's when he was confronted by a bully. The bully confronted the young kid while he was washing his hands by slamming his face into the mirror, cracking the mirror upon impact, and as the kid fell, slammed and cracked his head on the sink. Terrified of getting in trouble, the bully pulled up the floorboards, shoved the kid's body inside, and left him there to rot. Now, because this story is so old, no one really knows exactly what happens next, but you can go to this school at night. Supposedly, once you're in, you head to the bathroom and you look in the mirror, you will be able to see the dead boy's spirit standing right behind you in the mirror. But don't worry, he's not there to hurt you, he's there to warn you. If anybody gets anything out of this video besides just being a little creeped out, be kind to people, it's not that hard. Stop bullying, raise your kids better. In all seriousness, spread love. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Creepy urban legends from every state, North Carolina, and South Carolina, because they're both very short. Starting with North Carolina, it's the Beast of Bladdenboro. This urban legend starts with a weird vampire-like cat that will kill your animals, livestock, pets, and maybe even you. In 1954, a string of weird, gruesome deaths came along Bladdenboro, North Carolina. The animals would end up with crushed skulls, broken jaws, and blood drained from their bodies. Eyewitnesses blamed it on this vampire-like cat. This story was so big it even made the news. South Carolina is even creepier with the boo hags. These are skinless vampires that will creep into your home, climb on your chest, and suck the breath/life out of your body. They even have been said to rip off your skin and wear it for themselves to keep warm. Even if this one is just completely not real, who the hell in their right mind would make this up? Like, who is that messed up in the head? And don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Texas edition. And a 2-story in 1 special. The first story is Arlington's Screaming Bridge. In February of 1961, a car full of teenage girls plunged off this bridge. This happened after they were leaving a movie theater. It is said that if you stand on this bridge at night, you will hear the tormented screams of these girls the day they died. Now, the road to this bridge has been blocked off, so the only way to get to it is to park and go by foot. Would you do that at night? The second story is the Ghost Children of San Antonio. There's a set of train tracks at the intersection of Cheyenne and Via Maine. The story goes a school bus full of children stalled on the tracks, and when the train came around the corner, it couldn't stop in time and killed them all. According to legend, if you park your car on those exact train tracks and put your car in neutral, the spirits of the children will push your car to safety and away from the tracks. Some who have done this have even claimed that they had children's handprints, dusty handprints, on their bumper and back windshield. Comment what state you want me to do next. And tell me how you're liking this series. Urban legends from every state, Ohio. This first urban legend is Walhalla Road / Mooney's Mansion. Dr. Mooney lived on Walhalla Road with his 2 kids and his wife in North Columbus. It is said that he murdered his wife on that street. It is said that if you go down that road at night, that you will see his ghost reenact his crime. I'd shit my pants if I saw that. It is also said that Dr. Mooney kicked his wife's severed head down the hill, like straight up just yeeted it. Also, this supposedly happened in the 1950s and nobody ever knew what happened to his kids. But when I was looking for urban legends in Ohio, I came across the Melonhead Kids. Because he was a doctor, I'm thinking maybe this is where it stemmed from. The Melonhead Kids were supposedly these kids of a doctor who experimented on them. Obviously named because of their large heads, and also they had razor sharp teeth that would rip your face off. Ohio, get your shit together. Comment what state I should do next. Yes, the beautiful Everglades of Florida are terrorized by this frickin' thing called the skunk ape. Hi, and welcome to Urban Legends of Every State, Florida. So not only do you have to worry about alligators here, but you also gotta deal with this thing. Known as a relative of Bigfoot, the skunk ape has been reported so many times that there is high concern. It's around 7 feet tall and weighs 450 pounds. You will be able to tell when the skunk ape is around because you will smell a sun-baked animal carcass mixed with rotting garbage. Florida, what the hell did you guys do? What went wrong? My favorite part of this article is that it said they mostly eat berries, but also mixed with some small animals. And the next line says that they also shred wild boars to pieces. And if y'all don't think this is serious, there's a skunk ape headquarters where you can book a reservation to go hunting for this thing. No thank you, I'll pass. And where did this thing come from? Hell, if you ask me. But yeah, no one really knows. Just a relative Bigfoot. Comment what state I should do next. Creepy urban legends from every state, Kansas. This is the story of Stoll's Gateway to Hell. This starts in the tiny town of Stoll. Established in 1856, this town had very few residents, even from the start. Now, where this roofless church stands is supposedly the gateway to hell. And Satan himself has been said to live here. It was rumored that he was mainly drawn to the witch hangings when that would happen back in the day. It's even said that one of the graves in this cemetery is Satan's own child. And to this day, graves are still being placed, like bodies are still being buried here, despite the fact that Satan himself lives there. And it's even a popular place for cults to go and hang out. Now, there's even a specific tree in this cemetery that was placed there for the hangings. However, in 1998, they decided to tear it down to prevent people from coming and to look at it. So even the town itself knows that some shady stuff is happening. And guys, I'm trying to get through as many states as possible. I promise I'll get yours soon. What state is next? Urban legends from every state. Colorado. There's lots of crazy stuff in this state, such as the Denver airport, the hotel where The Shining was based off of, but this one is one of the most haunted roads in the United States. Riverdale Road. In Thornton, Colorado, just outside Denver, there is an 11-mile stretch of road with numerous terrifying stories. Besides just the obvious of seeing creepy ghostly apparitions, people always hear creepy whispers down this road. There have been reports of creepy shapeshifters, random bloody handprints, and to top it all off, a haunted burial ground. However, one important thing to know about this road before you go down this road, if you see a coyote down this road, don't freak out. Native Americans say that that's a sign of a good spirit watching over you. Do stay safe out there, and don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Urban legends from every state. Michigan. This is Hell's Bridge. Back in the early 1900s, an old deranged preacher named Elias Frisk led a tethered group of kids to the woods to this bridge. He slowly murdered them one by one before throwing them into the creek below. But when he was caught by the children's parents, he was hung. His reasoning for doing so is even creepier. He claimed that he only did this because he was being possessed by demons. Supposedly this bridge is near Algoma Township, and if you're brave enough, or crazy enough, to walk down this bridge at midnight, you'll be able to hear the screams of the children and will be greeted by his ghost, which is a black figure with glowing eyes. So for your safety, please don't do this, but if you do, make a TikTok about it. And tag me. I'm kidding. Anywho, to end on a nicer note, famous magician Harry Houdini died in Detroit on Halloween. And every year on Halloween, people would try to perform seances to talk to his spirit again. Let me know what state to do next in the comments. Crazy urban legends from every state. Connecticut. And I ain't talking about my fake friend Bryce who's cheating on his girlfriend. That ain't no myth. Starting off with the Little People's Village. It's basically exactly what it sounds like in a town called Middlebury. There are a couple versions of the story, but the first one goes like this. About a century ago, there was a man living by himself in a stone house. He claimed to have heard voices from little people commanding him to build them their own village. But the more he built, the voices just kept asking him to build more and more and more. This was supposedly driving himself nuts that he ended up killing himself. Another version goes that his wife was a witch who was seeing these fairy-like creatures everywhere. And in order to accommodate them, she basically forced her husband to build this tiny village for them. And as the village grew, it just turned to madness. But still to this day, you can go to this forest and visit this tiny little village. I don't know why, but this one's just so unsettling and just really gives me the creeps. Now there is going to be a part 2 to this state because there's another story that I'd really like to share as well. But don't worry, by the time you see this, part 2 will already be out. Comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Connecticut, part 2. This one is about Downs Road in Hamden, Connecticut. Now, it's a very lonely road that really essentially has nothing in it, except for spirits, demons, ghosts, monsters, and albinos, of course. Now, this road will lead you from Hamden, Connecticut to Bethany, Connecticut. But both those entrances are closed off, so there's no way to really drive down that road. But apparently a lot of people have seen the Downs Road Monster. Now, if any of you guys actually keep up with this series, and you remember the melon heads, supposedly those things have been seen down here too. But all of the creatures living down this road have been known to claw at parked cars and chase hikers away. Also, thinking back to what I said earlier, now because it does lead from one end to the other, it technically was a road before. However, it's just not paved. Who knows why they closed it down? Would any of you guys be brave enough to walk down this road at night and see what's living down there? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know what state you want me to do next. Urban legends from every state. Kentucky. The Witch Girl of Pilot's Knob. Mary Evelyn Ford's grave is right here. You may notice that it's surrounded by interlocking white crosses, which were put up to make sure her ghost didn't escape. Supposedly Mary and her mother were accused of witchcraft, and then burned at the stake in 1916. The mother's charred remains were carried off to a far location, and Mary's body was left right here. Some people say that late at night you'll see her footprints walking in the gravel since she can't leave the fence. Or even a full-on apparition trying to hop the gate. What's even weirder is that the state claimed that Mary actually died of inflammation of the stomach lining. But then it's like, why was the mother burned and why are there white crosses around her grave? Definitely bring a friend with you if you decide to go to this site, cause kid ghosts are the creepiest. Comment what state I should do next. Creepy urban legends from every state. Alabama, the Dead Children's Playground. Because what's more creepy than child spirits? Located at the Maple Hill Cemetery in Huntsville, Alabama, this playground was designed to entertain kids while their parents would visit the graves of loved ones. Also, the cemetery is the oldest in Huntsville. However, it's said that the children's spirits will come out to play at this playground at night of all the children who've been buried at this cemetery since 1822. People have reported orbs of light going down the slides, the swing sets moving by themselves, and have even heard giggling. And some of the children here were victims of a child murderer going around in the 60s. Now, the playground wasn't built until 1985, 163 years later after the cemetery was put there. And in 2007, the city tried to just demolish the whole park to make room for more graves. But after the public outcry, it was replaced with more modern equipment and they decided to keep it. And this is what it looks like now. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a blessed day. See you next time. Urban legends from every state. New Jersey. And it's not the Jersey Devil. This is something way more creepy, way more sinister, and very real. This is the true story of the Watcher. In summer of 2015, a young family moved into this house in Westfield, New Jersey. Shortly after they moved in, they started getting really creepy letters from someone called the Watcher, claiming that it was his duty to watch over the house. Some of the letters include notes like these. Did you fill the house with the young blood that I requested? And who has the bedroom facing the street? Now, although he never actually did physical damage, the people from the house were still very creeped out, rightfully so. At first, they just refused to move out, thought it was some hoax or something, but the letters just kept coming. Now, this is a very long story. There's so many more notes and letters, and if you want to know what they said, then I highly suggest that you Google it. And rumor even has it that to this day, that house is still getting letters. Just put into YouTube or Google, The Watcher, New Jersey. Hope you guys like this story, and don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state. Oregon. And this one's a weird one. This takes place in Cannon Beach with a guy known as the Bandage Man. Specifically near the highway on this beach, he likes to mess with raunchy teenagers making out in the car. And in some versions, he eats dogs. Basically, he likes to terrorize the teenagers who are making out in cars late at night on this highway. And you can tell his presence is near because you'll smell rotting flesh in your car. And supposedly if he really doesn't like you, he'll jump on the top of your hood, or on the bed of your truck if you have one, and bang loudly on the windows. Now, what's weird about this one is it doesn't really have an origin story. So I got another one for you. Supposedly the town of Lafayette has had a curse on it since the 1800s. There was a woman hung for witchcraft for her supposed crime. Before she died, she placed a curse on the town that it would burn down 3 times. What's even creepier is that this town has already burned down twice. And supposedly you can still see her ghost roaming around where she was hung. Comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state. Oklahoma. This is the Skirvin Hotel, a luxury hotel whose residents include crying babies, a ghost that likes to grope people in the shower, spirits constantly slamming doors, and the ghost of the original owner's mistress, who allegedly died alongside his illegitimate child, and still walks along the halls of the hotel with a stroller. Even some of the toughest people who come to stay here find themselves seeking alternate accommodations. This place was built in 1911, shortly after the original owner was shot to death, but before impregnating a maid who died on the 10th floor. And let me tell y'all, it just went downhill from there. Even the renovation they did in the early 90s still couldn't scrub out the paranormal. This is what the hotel looks like now, and the front entrance. Creepy hotel stories are honestly just like my favorite. Plus, I used to work in hotels, so that just makes it so much better. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry. Urban legends from every state. Louisiana. This first one is about the underground tunnels of Louisiana State University. Now, there's a lot of different urban legends and rumors about what's been going on in these tunnels. Some people think it's a hidden military base or a hidden CIA office. However, more people claim that it's haunted by the indigenous people who actually built these tunnels, which, keep in mind, was over 5,000 years ago. The second urban legend we're going to be talking about for Louisiana is the story of the Grunch. Somewhere east of New Orleans, there's a story that there is a group of weird-looking albino-like creatures who are not only ridiculed and exiled by people's society, but ran off onto their own little territory to create their own society, called the Grunch. Now, their whole point in doing this was just to escape the cruelness of the outside world and how people perceived them and treated them. However, rumors have been surfacing that they've actually turned evil. Being away from society for so long turned them quite insane. Where people say that they now torture and sacrifice different animals. What says next? Creepy urban legends from every state, Maine. And it's a two-parter. But sorry, it's been a while. This one is a Sabbatus well descent. A couple decades ago, a group of teenage boys decided to go to, I believe it was called Combe Cemetery, because in the back there was a haunted well. One of the boys got challenged to get lowered into it and then be brought back up. After the boy was down there for a couple of minutes, they decided to pull him back up because there was no movement. When they brought him back up, the boy was completely pale, his hair was ghost white, and he was not able to form coherent sentences. He was insanely laughing and was sent to an insane asylum. I don't know which one it is, but if you go to it to this day, you can still hear him screaming from out the windows. Excuse me? This next story is called the Rhode Island Light. Howard Hobbs is a local fisherman here, who really did murder his landlord in 1896. He reportedly done so just because he was drinking too much, and then turned the gun on himself. And you can read the full story on the news reports that are still posted near this lighthouse today. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Montana. And I'm sorry if I look beat as hell, I'm so tired. This is the Hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake. Now, when you're cruising down Highway 87 in Montana and you're on this long stretch of highway and you pass Great Falls, that is when some stuff goes down. It is said that the body of a Native American man will slam into your windshield as if you just hit him. Like, you'll just see his body bounce off your windshield. However, if you get out of the car to go help him, there'll be nothing there, there'll be no body, and there'll be no damage to your windshield. And as for the hitchhiker, this is his own personal hell, his own little cycle that will be trapped in endlessly. You just don't want to be driving down that road at the wrong time. And apparently, this weird phenomenon has been going on since the early 19th century. That is all for this video. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Indiana. This is the story of the Hatchet Man. Rumors of the Hatchet Man started going around Bloomington when a college student was brutally murdered with a hatchet. And supposedly not too shortly after that, 2 more college girls went out that night to go drinking at a bar. One of the girls started being really flirtatious with the bartender, and the other one decided to go back to the dorm and go to bed. When the girl woke up the next morning, there was nobody in the bed next to her. And when she finally got out of bed, she found her roommate dead on the floor with blood everywhere. But the worst part is, she found her friend with her throat slit and a hatchet right next to her. And nobody has ever seen the guy who did it. And to this day, it's still very much unknown. Some people in Bloomington still claim to see him in the woods at night with a hatchet. So always walk with a partner at night, and don't go home with random people you just met. And if you do, tell your friend where you are at all times. And now I'm gonna go fix my unibrow. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Both handles are in my bio. And watch out for the Hatchet Man. Urban legends from every state, Massachusetts. This is the curse of Giles Corey. In 1692, Giles Corey and his wife Martha were accused of witchcraft. Now remember, this was back in the day when the Salem witch trials were going on, where you would be sentenced to death for using witchcraft or being accused of using witchcraft. After being accused of witchcraft, Giles Corey refused to plead guilty. So, the sheriff of Salem decided to have him pressed to death, which is basically just putting a whole bunch of large rocks on top of you very slowly, one by one, until you're crushed to death. And with his last dying words, he mumbled a curse on the town and the sheriff. And it resulted in 300 years of ailing sheriffs and a great fire that destroyed much of Salem. And to this day, when you go and visit his grave, people say you can still see his apparition walking around the cemetery. Boy, isn't today's generation glad we don't live in those times. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Nebraska. This one is so messed up, and it takes place in one of the most haunted parks in the United States, Hummel Park. Not only has there been murders and deaths at this park, but a majority of people who go there report seeing orbs, hearing voices, and having an overwhelmingly sense of uneasiness. One legend here is the morphing stairs. If you count the number of stairs while walking up, you'll get a different number when you come back down. However, if you get the same number coming up and down, you will either be cursed for the rest of your life or may die soon. There's even said to be a huge family of cannibalistic albinos hiding in the woods. They've been reported to kidnap anybody who walks there alone to eat them. And the cannibals have been supposedly living there since the 1960s. That long. So yeah, this place doesn't seem like no walk in the park. I'm sorry. Anywho, don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Also follow me on Instagram or YouTube. Urban legends from every state. Missouri. This one is the Devil's Chair. This chair is located at Highland Park Cemetery in Kirksville, Missouri. The legend goes that those who sit in this chair at either midnight, Halloween, or on a full moon, or all three, will either be severely punished or rewarded for their bravery. Another legend suggests that a hand will come from the grave and drag you down into hell. And a surprise two-part special, this other urban legend is about the Lemp Mansion, which is important to note is no myth. It is a 19th century mansion set in St. Louis, Missouri, and is said to be one of the top 10 most haunted places in America, which is based off all the suicides and strange deaths that have happened in the Lemp family, which is said to still be haunted by all of their spirits, including a boy who was locked in the attic known as the Monkey-Faced Boy. He was put in the attic because he was the illegitimate child of Mr. Lemp, hidden away so that no one would know. And because he was born with Down syndrome, the Lemp family thought he was too deformed. Urban legends from every state. Maryland. This is the story of the Goat Man, who kills teenagers, eats dogs, and screams like a goat. Now, there are so many different stories of how he even came to be. Some people say it was just an experiment gone wrong. Other people say that a farmer was mad at teenagers for killing his crop, so he just wore goat stuff and killed them. But it goes so deep that at one point the USDA was even forced to publicly deny creating this monster. It's said that the Goat Man likes to roam around Beltsville and Bowie at night. I mean, there's even a Goatman's Bridge, where if you go to that bridge at night and turn off your car on all of the lights, you'll literally see him approaching you. Honestly, now I kind of want to go there and see if I can find him, because I need more friends. And I think he's lonely too. He just needs a high five, a back massage, a hug, Also, more stories on Area 51 coming very, very soon, I promise. So don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state. Idaho. And cue the Idaho jokes. And this one is about the old Idaho State Penitentiary. It's had quite the reputation over the years, especially with it being known as Idaho's most haunted site, because the past of this state pen includes loads of riots and crazy executions. And it's said that all of the former inmates still haunt this facility to this day. Visitors who come here will say that they experience weird touches from invisible entities, sudden overwhelming feelings of dread or despair, and disembodied whispers echoing throughout the hallways. And yes, this is something that you actually can go and visit and take a tour of. Here are some more pictures. Also, I highly suggest looking into the urban legend of Idaho itself, because some people believe that Idaho doesn't even exist. People talk about the government purposely drugging all the residents there, and that Idaho is just a fake state. What? Don't forget to check out my merchandise in my bio. Follow me on Instagram or YouTube, follow me here, like, and comment what state I should do next. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state. Mississippi. And this one is by far the weirdest. And it starts at one of the most haunted roads in Mississippi, Nash Road. Apparently, if you go down this road at night, stop and turn off all of your lights, you will see a three-legged lady standing in front of your car, and one of the limbs appears to be completely rotted. Hello? And then apparently she starts chasing you and then banging on your hood. Some people say this extra leg came from an ex-lover of hers that she sewed onto her own body, and very few seem to believe that it is the ghost of a mother who lost her child and the only part of the body that she found was the leg, and so she sewed it on herself, because that makes sense. What? Either way, watch out for this BZ, because she likes to chase people. So yeah, don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state is next, and check out my YouTube and Instagram, and my merch. Okay, I'm done. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state. New Hampshire. There are two different types of devils in New Hampshire, and the first ones we're going to be talking about are the devil monkeys. And this picture came from Animal Planet, so even Animal Planet knows about these guys. They're anywhere from 3 to 8 feet long, and have been seen mainly in the mountains of New Hampshire. They're said to have really long and pointy ears and a really bad temper. Also known to kill pets and livestock. Now this dates back to the 1950s when a couple had their car attacked by one of these things. Supposedly 12 people had witnessed it, and one of them had said that it was a sound they had never heard before from an animal. And the second one is called the Wood Devils, and this is what they look like. Literally a nightmare. They are tall and thin monsters that live in the forest. So basically me. These creatures like to hide, so you can really only come across them by accident. And apparently when they're spooked, they can run like crazy. And apparently there's been cases along the Androscoggin River. I am so sorry, I'm sure I butchered that. And that's when a guy heard some twigs snap behind him, he looked behind, there was nothing. Except for a tall, slim shadow behind a tree. Who's next? Urban legends from every state. Nevada. I bet y'all thought it was gonna be Area 51, but it's not. However, my grandpa did used to work at Area 51, so if you guys want stories that he's told me about it, let me know. I'll gladly share. They're interesting and scary. This is the true story of the Goldfield Hotel. There are many urban legends that go to this story, however, Elizabeth is the most popular one. Elizabeth was a prostitute that the past owner of this hotel had gotten pregnant. Because the owner was afraid of the publicity destroying his reputation, he decided to chain her to the radiator in room 109. Cause that helps your reputation. And after Elizabeth gave birth to the child, the owner, George Wingfield, threw the baby down the mine shaft in the basement of the hotel. Then gave Elizabeth the option to either go down with the baby or for him to murder her. What a guy. You can still stay at this hotel to this day. Well, like, not to like this day, cause like quarantine, but you know. Anyways, be sure to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Also, give my Instagram and YouTube a channel, they're in my bio. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, North Dakota. And without even planning on it, they're getting creepier. This all begins in the hell town called Tegas. It's abandoned now and used to be home to a Lutheran church. Legend has it that if you stand right where the church was supposedly burned down, you could hear the screams of people in hell coming from the earth. There have also been reports of hellhounds and ghost trains. And it's also home to the actual stairway to hell. A farmer back in the 1900s was uplifting a tree. Going through all the roots, he found a pile of bones. So he brought in people to get rid of them. And they went 100 feet deep. And after that, they found a spiral staircase. And at first glance, it seemed like it would go on forever. Now, there were some people who actually tried to get to the end, but only got 300 feet before they claimed that they had entered a different dimension. I'm baffled. I'm behooved. Anyways, don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state is next, and check out my merch and my Instagram and my YouTube. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, Iowa. This one is terrifying. The Villisca? Anyways, the Villisca Axe Murder House, and this is it. Now, the axe murders that did happen here is not an urban legend. That's true. And it still remains unsolved to this day. It was said that on June 9th, 1912, or maybe even early on the next morning, 6 members of the Moore family who lived here and 2 guests were murdered brutally with an axe to the head. And this house is prone to paranormal activity to this day. It still has not been bulldozed? What the hell is bulldozed? It still hasn't been bulldozed or taken down. And you can stay in it. Yes, actually stay in this house. Like that thing, you can stay there. But be warned, one of the last ghost hunters who stayed in that house mysteriously stabbed himself in his own chest. And here's a picture of what the attic looks like, as if it couldn't get any worse. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Pennsylvania. Guys, they keep getting worse. This is the story of Charlie No Face. And yes, this is a 100% true story. As a child in 1919, he was electrocuted by a trolley wire as a child, and it melted his whole face. And as an adult, he liked to walk around the old Pennsylvania highways, such as Route 351 to be exact. However, some people say that the glowing on his face is just because of the petroleum jelly that he constantly put on his face to make it, you know, to coat his wounds. However, a lot of people do claim to see him on Piney Fork Tunnel, located in Hillsville, Pennsylvania. And if you do go to see him, just accelerate as fast as you can. Because if he manages to touch your car, it will stall out and you'll be stuck there on the side of the road with him. Some people say he's actually not a bad spirit, but some people say he is just because he's mad that nobody really, gave him a chance due to his appearance. I can't look at this picture anymore. Comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state, Wisconsin. There's one urban legend of Wisconsin which is really hard to find, and that is about the mass murders of the University of Wisconsin. Legend goes that a famous psychic predicted there'd be a mass murder at the university. She said it would be around Halloween and that 12 students would die. Some students didn't take it seriously and decided to party around Halloween. That night, everything was completely fine, but the next morning, 12 students were brutally murdered, and their bodies were just discovered on the campus. This next one is about Sirens Bridge, and this one, 100% real. Basically, a family was driving over Sirens Bridge and crashed over the guardrail and into the water, which resulted to everyone in the car drowning. And to this day, whenever anybody passes over the bridge, they report hearing a childlike voice over the radio. And she's saying, "Mommy, help me, I can't get out." Whew. Hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, New Mexico. This one is called The Death Waltz. Basically, the story goes that a soldier was based at Fort Union in New Mexico, which is this image right here. He apparently fell for a very flighty, gold-digging type of woman. So he was really in love with her, and the woman agreed to marry him. And right before the soldier went off into battle, the girl promised that if he were to die, she would marry nobody else. Which I think y'all see where this is going. So the man did end up dying in battle, and not too shortly after, the woman went to go marry somebody else. However, at the woman's wedding ball, the ghost of this soldier came down to crash it. The guests and the band fell into a trance as the ghost danced with the woman, but only to suck the life out of her. And basically just like killed her and left. So, yeah. Who won? Who's next? You decide. Epic rap battles of history. Anyways, don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state I should do next. Urban legends from every state. Alaska. And this one might be a two-parter because it's a long one. If you guys have ever heard of the Bermuda Triangle, let me introduce you to the Alaskan Bermuda Triangle. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this one. For starters, this is a very, very popular place for Bigfoot sightings. People think there's even a nest for Bigfoot. Some people even saying that they have uncovered some skeletons that look like Bigfoot. Now, not only would a forest be a great place to find Bigfoot, but all these mountain ranges are a good place for people to get lost in. I mean, there's even a show called Missing in Alaska. That's how crazy the Alaskan Bermuda Triangle is. Alaska alone has twice the national average missing people reports, and a vast majority of them happen in the Alaskan Bermuda Triangle. I don't think that's any coincidence. Another huge conspiracy theory is the missing plane of 1972. Now, this plane was carrying two really important politicians at the time. It took 39 days and 400 aircrafts, and they still couldn't find it. Part 2 coming soon. Urban legends from every state, Alaska, Part 2. And if you thought Part 1 was crazy, just wait. In 1983, a Japanese airplane was flying from Iceland to Alaska when it came across 3 UFOs. But it gets weirder. The 3 UFOs followed the Japanese aircraft for over 400 miles. And guess what they flew through? The Alaskan Bermuda Triangle. It was reported that one of the UFOs were twice the size of a usual aircraft, and the other 2 were so much smaller. The pilot decided to fly at a lower altitude to try and make the UFO stop following him. And after 35 minutes, they finally did, although the pilot claimed it felt like hours. And the last crazy thing, some people believe that the Alaskan Bermuda Triangle is home to an energy vortex. Now, energy vortexes are said to have different effects on the human body. It affects their mental, physical, and emotional health and causes hallucinations. Other people say that energy vortexes can actually lead into the spiritual realm. What state is next? Urban legends from every state, Arkansas. And this one takes place at the Moss Mountain Farm, which has a very mysterious past. Now, although this place has become a very popular spot for Halloween tours, it's built off of a very creepy and very true, scary background. Basically started back in the day when old Englishman naturalist traveler decided to settle there with his crew in the early 19th century. However, on Halloween night in 1819, him and his crew were mysteriously murdered. Nobody knows who and nobody knows why. And those of you who decide to take a tour on Halloween night at this place will be able to either see or feel the presence of those unfortunate souls who were murdered there. But like, really beautiful property though. Also, I'm sorry if some of my videos have been late and I haven't really been going live recently. We're in the process of moving and it's just taking forever and it's so stressful. But thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow, like, and leave a comment saying what state I should do next. We only have 10 more states left. And don't forget to check me out on YouTube and Instagram in my bio. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, Delaware. Now this urban legend starts at the stretch of Route 113, which runs through the Ellendale State Forest. This little stretch along the 113 is also called the Haunted Highway. There's supposedly a headless phantom there that causes a lot of car accidents on that freeway. Oh my god. That causes a lot of accidents on that freeway. There we go. And this state forest is in Redden, Delaware, just 3 miles north of Georgetown. Now what's weird is that there's not too much to be said about this place. Everybody just claims to hear a lot of things and see a lot of things, such as the Headless Phantom. And there is no denying how many crazy car accidents are on this stretch of freeway. Or highway, should I say. So, haunted or not, be sure to be very careful when driving down the 113, especially when coming across the Ellendale Forest. Also, don't forget to check out my merch in my bio, follow me on Instagram or YouTube, follow me here and comment what state is next. Also, those of you watching the day of posting this, I will be going live tonight. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, Minnesota. And this is the horrifying story of the Wendigo. It's a pretty well-known supernatural creature that likes to prowl around the forest and feast on human flesh. And doing this whole series, wow, I haven't heard that one before. What's really weird though is that he's around 15 feet tall and really wide. However, some people say that he is just way too thin to be seen from a side profile, which like honestly same. But head on, this creature is horrifying. Here's another rendition of what this creature looks like. Now this legend derives from Native American folklore, but with the same story being told and all the different cases of it being seen, it honestly makes you wonder, is it really just a myth? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state is next. Only a handful of states are left. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube and my Instagram in the bio. Also, I have merchandise now, so oh my god, yay, check it out. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, Vermont. Also another true story of the Hayden family curse. William Hayden was a really wealthy landowner in Albany, Vermont in the early 1800s, but he never repaid his even wealthier mother-in-law who loaned him lots of money. And after much complaining, she became mysteriously ill and accused William of poisoning her. And of course, with her dying breath, she had this to say: "The Hayden family name shall die in the 3rd generation, and the last to bear the name shall die in poverty." But the craziest part about all of this, the Hayden family barely made it another 100 years. They were unfortunately plagued with financial issues and random illnesses. Supposedly, phantom-like music and other paranormal activity still haunts their estate in Albany. And apparently, even the vengeful mother-in-law still haunts that place. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state is next, and check me out on YouTube or Instagram in my bio, as well as merch. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, South Dakota. And this one takes place at the Orpheum Theater. Now, legend has it that a ghost named Larry is said to haunt this theater. Larry was just a man who was dancing with a woman at the Orpheum Theater one day when the woman's actual husband was fighting away at war. However, when the woman's husband returned, it is said that he supposedly killed Larry, and now Larry's dancing around the Orpheum Theater to this day. But if you do hear Larry whistling "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at Night," specifically at the opening night of performances at this theater, it's supposedly a sign of good luck coming soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state is next. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, Utah. And this all starts at the Escalante Forest. Now, there are trees here with petrified wood on them. The more you take apart these chunks of wood, honestly, the prettier it gets. But what's not so pretty is the curse behind it. This state park receives dozens to hundreds of letters a year. People return pieces of this wood, and people tell stories of accidents, lost jobs, illnesses, and even death that they believe was brought on by taking a piece of this ancient wood. People even blame car accidents and lost jobs because they stole a piece of this wood. But what's even weirder about this is nobody knows where this supposed curse came from. Some people say it's just a coincidence because the state park doesn't want you to take anything from it, but most think that something so much weirder is going on. And guys, there are only 3 more states left. And in order, it's going to be Wyoming, Hawaii, and then California. And California is going to be like at least a 4-part special. So don't forget to follow, like, and leave a comment saying what you're most excited for. Urban legends from every state, Rhode Island. And this is a really messed up story of Mercy Brown. Now back in the day, Rhode Island was in the midst of a vampire panic, and the most famous victim was Mercy Brown. After her mother and her sister had died, Mercy also had succumbed to tuberculosis. But due to the panic, the people of Rhode Island thought something more sinister was afoot. And when they exhumed Mercy, her body was remarkably well preserved. So they removed her heart and her liver, burned them down to ashes, and fed them to her brother, who had eventually died only 2 months after feeding him that. However, people say that the spirit of Mercy Brown still haunts the historical cemetery in the town of Exeter. And this cemetery is open to the public, so you can trespass and you'll be fine. But like, what the hell? Okay, this one's not my favorite story. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what state is next. And check out my Instagram and YouTube in my bio, as well as my merch. And I hope to see you guys in my next Urban Legend video. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, Wyoming. This first one is about the tiny people of San Pedro. The Shoshone Indians believed that these little people would attack them with poisonous arrows and small little bows, and they were usually anywhere from 20 inches to 3 feet tall. And this was believed to just be a legend until 1932. And that's when 2 gold prospectors decided to blast a mountain, and this is what they found. A 6.5 inch tall mummy. And anthropologists believe that it was 65 years old when it passed away. And this next story is so weird. It starts off with a man that people called Big Nose George, otherwise known as George Parrott. He was an outlaw, he was a horse thief and a murderer. Eventually he got caught and he was jailed and hanged. But for some godforsaken reason, they decided to turn his skin into a pair of shoes. His skin. His skin! And I'm sorry I didn't post it all yesterday. We've been in the middle of moving and it's just been really busy. But the next state is Hawaii. Have a blessed urban legends from every state. Hawaii. And this is the chilling story of the Night Marchers. Now, before you even see the Night Marchers, you'll hear them. You'll start off by hearing these really deep war drums and chanting, and then you'll see the torches leading their way through the dark. It was said that in life, the Night Marchers were used to escort their highest chief, and no human mortal is allowed to even look at them. However, if you happen to make eye contact, it is said that they will kill you. And supposedly the only way to protect yourself from the Night Marchers is to lie on the ground face down, not making a movement or saying a word when you see them coming. It's also said that these Night Marchers were cursed to march around the island for eternity, forever protecting their highest chief. And honestly, in my opinion, this just made Hawaii 10 times cooler. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow and like and check out my YouTube and my Instagram in my bio. Next state is California, and it's gonna be at least a 4-part special. Stay tuned and have a blessed day. And finally, urban legends from every state, California. And this takes place in Northern California, where I grew up, San Jose. Not even 15 minutes past Oak Ridge Mall, you will find a very creepy, secluded road called Hicks Road. Not only is going down this road at night very, very creepy, but the people who supposedly live there are. Supposedly Hicks Road is home to a whole ass family of albinos. And I had a friend who went down that road one night and saw a very, very pale, weird man standing on the side of the road, butt naked. And the second that the man saw my friend, he sprinted off into the woods as fast as he possibly could. Now, I've been down this road at night too, and it does definitely give me some very, very weird vibes. Also, what's weird is when you get halfway down this road, it turns into a 1-lane dirt road going up a hill. Ugh. Urban legend number 2 for California coming very soon. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment if you've been here before. Have a blessed day. Urban legends from every state, California, part 2. On God, y'all are not prepared for this one. This right here is Tunitas Creek Road. It is a very windy, twisted, dark, and single-laned road, and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. However, it's technically located in the San Mateo County, and so many spirits roam here. One of them is a blue lady who died in this forest waiting for her husband to return from sea, which just about everyone down this road always feels a strong presence of someone near them. However, there's also been many reports of these long-armed people that live down there as well. But the creepiest part? There have been so many reports of decapitated bodies strewn out through all the bushes in this forest. However, when you get up close, the bodies just disappear. Now, I personally have been down this road and it's terrifying. There's also no service on this road, so if something happens, you're out of luck. However, it will spit you out by Highway 1 near Half Moon Bay. This road gives me the chills, guys. Don't forget to follow, like, and comment what you want to see next. Urban legends from every state, Northern California, part 3. And this one takes place at Mount Hamilton Road in San Jose, California. This road is already really scary just because of how dangerous this road is. Very narrow, very sharp, windy turns. But there is one restaurant at the top of this hill which is supposedly haunted by a young girl, who you can usually see the spirit of sitting at the balcony of the restaurant. There have been reports of her turning off and on the lights as you pass by, but nobody knows who she is or how she got there. There's not even anything that indicates a death. But the creepiest thing down this messed up road is the report of hairless bird-like creatures with human teeth. And supposedly you can always see them between the hours of 2 and 4 in the morning. And they love to make chattering noises before they come down and attack you. Quick disclaimer, be sure to be very, very safe when going down these haunted roads if you do decide to do that, because besides the creepy factor, they are very dangerous. And be sure to check out my YouTube and Instagram in the bio. Follow, like, and comment if you've ever been to San Jose before. It's my hometown. Have a blessed day. I'm getting this comment a lot to do San Jose, and I've already done so many. I honestly think I've done just about all of them. So instead, I'm just gonna make this like a compilation video of every single urban legend in San Jose. There's the ghost truck of San Felipe Road. There's a legend of Dottie's Pond who killed her parents. Mount Hamilton Road is a very scary road. There's the albinos of Hicks Road. In neighboring areas, there's Marsh Road in Milpitas, which I just did a video on. Tunitas Creek in Half Moon Bay. Harissima Road in Half Moon Bay. The haunted forest of Silver Creek Linear Park, which is also in San Jose. And I think that's really awesome that you guys are suggesting San Jose, because like, I know all the spooky places there. And there are lots of other areas there that I will talk about eventually about my own personal experience. But for right now, I'm probably gonna stop with the San Jose ones. And if you are gonna go to Dottie's Pond, if you just type in Santa Teresa Springs and park on Manila Drive, that's gonna be the closest place to park to get there. Literally, it's right out front. Also, I see all of your comments. This series is going to be very long, so if you just keep commenting, I promise I'll get to it. Thank you so much for all your support, and I promise I'll see you very soon.